I'm Mike, 35M, and I need to get this off my chest because I feel like I'm going crazy. I've been married to Kate, 33F, for 3 years. We met through mutual friends and hit it off right away. Kate's family welcomed me with open arms, especially her sister Lisa, 38F, and her husband Tom, 40M. I thought I had lucked out with such a great family. Now I realize it was all built on lies. This story goes back to my college days when I dated Amy, 34F. We were together for 2 years, from sophomore year until graduation. It wasn't a bad relationship, we just wanted different things after college. I got a job offer in Seattle while she wanted to stay on the East Coast. We broke up on good terms, or so I thought. I tried to keep in touch at first but she became distant and eventually stopped responding to my messages. I figured she just wanted a clean break. What I didn't know was that Amy was 2 months pregnant when we broke up. She never told me about it and moved to Boston right after graduation. I had no idea I had a child out there somewhere. I went on with my life, built my career, moved back east after a few years, met Kate, and got married. Lisa and Tom had been trying to have kids since they got married 12 years ago. They went through multiple rounds of IVF, spent their savings on fertility treatments, and nothing worked. It was hard watching them struggle. They started looking into adoption around 2011, which I now know was the same time Amy was pregnant. Here's where things get messed up. Lisa somehow found out about Amy's pregnancy through mutual friends from college. I later learned that one of Amy's roommates was Lisa's coworker. Lisa reached out to Amy directly and offered to adopt her baby. Amy agreed but made Lisa promise never to tell me about it. They went through a private adoption agency to make everything legal. So for the past 12 years, I've known Lucy as my niece. I was there when Lisa and Tom brought her home. I attended her first birthday party, her kindergarten graduation, her school plays. I taught her how to ride a bike when she was 6 because Tom had a broken leg at the time. I helped her with math homework, went to her soccer games, and babysat her countless times when Lisa and Tom needed a break. All this time, she was my daughter and I had no idea. I found out the truth last month when Lucy needed a blood transfusion. She has a rare blood type, and the hospital was running low on supplies. The whole family got tested to see if we could donate. I turned out to be a perfect match, which seemed like a miracle at first. But then the doctor mentioned something about genetic markers that made me curious. I started noticing things I'd overlooked before, how Lucy has the same color eyes as me, how she's left-handed like me, how she has the same allergies I do. It all started adding up. I did a home DNA test, and my suspicions were confirmed. Lucy is my biological daughter. When I confronted Lisa about this, she broke down immediately. She knew who Lucy's birth mother was, knew she was my child, and deliberately kept it from me. Her excuse? She was desperate for a child and afraid I would try to claim custody if I found out. Tom stood by her decision, saying they made the choice together to protect their family. Kate was shocked but kept saying we needed to think about what's best for Lucy. I dug deeper and found out that Amy had actually told Lisa and Tom that I had a right to know about my child. But they convinced her that telling me would only complicate things. They manipulated a scared, pregnant 22-year-old into giving up her baby and keeping me in the dark. They used Amy's vulnerability and their own desperation to get what they wanted, without any regard for my rights as a father. I never got the chance to decide if I wanted to be in my daughter's life. That choice was taken from me. Sure, I've been in her life as her uncle, but it's not the same. I missed her first words, her first steps. I missed the chance to be her dad. Every memory I have of her is now tainted by this knowledge. I'm furious at everyone involved. Lisa and Tom for their years of deception, Amy for not telling me herself, and even Kate for suggesting we should handle this quietly to avoid disrupting Lucy's life. Kate keeps saying that what's done is done, and we should focus on moving forward. She thinks telling Lucy the truth would only hurt her. Lucy still doesn't know I'm her biological father. Everyone is against telling her, saying it would traumatize her to learn her whole life has been a lie. But isn't that exactly what they've all been doing, living a lie? I feel sick every time I see her now, knowing she's my daughter but having to pretend I'm just her uncle. I've started avoiding family gatherings because I can't face Lisa and Tom. The sight of them playing happy family with my child makes my blood boil. Kate thinks I'm being too harsh and should focus on moving forward for the sake of family peace. She doesn't understand that I can't just pretend this never happened. How do I move past something like this? I don't know what to do. Part of me wants to tell Lucy the truth immediately. Another part is terrified of hurting her. I've considered legal action, but I know that would destroy our family and potentially traumatize Lucy. But how can I keep living this lie? How can I look my daughter in the eye and pretend I'm just her uncle? The weight of this secret is crushing me. Am I wrong for wanting the truth to come out? Should I just accept things as they are for Lucy's sake? I need some outside perspective because my family is too close to this to see it clearly. Update 1: I didn't expect things to get worse after my last post, but they have. After reading everyone's comments suggesting I talk to Amy directly, I decided to reach out. She still lived in Boston, and after some back and forth, she agreed to meet me at a local coffee shop. I wasn't prepared for what she told me. The whole story was far more calculated than I initially thought. Lisa hadn't just randomly found out about Amy's pregnancy through mutual friends. She had been actively following Amy's social media account since our breakup. Lisa noticed when Amy started posting less, stopped appearing in photos, and withdrew from social activities. She put the pieces together and used her connection with Amy's former roommate to confirm her suspicions. Lisa approached Amy when she was at her lowest point. Amy had just lost her marketing job due to company downsizing and was 3 months pregnant. She was behind on rent, scared, and considering moving back in with her parents. That's when Lisa swooped in, playing the role of a caring friend who just happened to be looking to adopt. Amy broke down crying as she told me how Lisa manipulated her. Lisa had painted me as someone who wouldn't want anything to do with the baby. She used our breakup as evidence, twisting the fact that I moved to Seattle into proof that I always chose my career over relationships. She convinced Amy that I was too immature and career-focused to be a father. Lisa even brought up old social media posts of mine about wanting to travel and focus on my career, using them out of context to support her narrative. The worst part? Lisa had actually helped Amy financially during her pregnancy. She paid some of Amy's rent, bought her groceries, and covered her medical bills. At the time, Amy saw it as kindness. Now we both realize Lisa was essentially buying her silence. She made Amy feel indebted to her, which made it harder for Amy to change her mind about the adoption. I also discovered that Tom wasn't fully on board with keeping this secret. Over the years, he had wanted to tell me the truth several times. The first time was right after Lucy was born. Then again when I helped teach Lucy to ride a bike. And most recently, when I helped Lucy through her first anxiety attack last year, something she apparently inherited from me. But each time, Lisa threatened to leave him if he revealed their secret. She said she'd take Lucy and disappear if he ever told me the truth. This explains so much about Tom's behavior over the years. Why he always seemed uncomfortable around me during family gatherings. Why he would sometimes start conversations about Lucy's adoption but never finish them. Why he would get quiet whenever Lisa talked about their adoption journey. What makes this even more twisted is how Lisa used her position as my sister-in-law to monitor me. She watched me build a relationship with Lucy while knowing the truth. She used my role as an uncle to give Lucy a connection to her biological father without ever having to reveal the truth. It was like she was playing some sick game, keeping me close enough to satisfy any genetic bond but never close enough to threaten her position as Lucy's mother. Kate is still defending her sister, saying Lisa's actions came from a place of desperation and love for Lucy. She keeps telling me to try to understand how painful infertility was for Lisa, how she wasn't thinking clearly because of her desire to be a mother. But I see it differently now. This wasn't just about wanting a child, it was a calculated, years-long deception. The family is completely divided. Kate's parents think I'm overreacting and should let sleeping dogs lie. They keep saying that Lisa and Tom are the only parents Lucy has ever known, and that should count for something. My parents are furious and want me to take legal action. They feel robbed of their grandchild and the years they could have spent with her. Kate and I are barely speaking. She keeps pushing me to forgive Lisa, saying that holding on to this anger isn't healthy. She doesn't understand that this isn't just anger, it's grief for all the years I lost with my daughter, betrayal from people I trusted, and fear about what this will do to Lucy when she finds out. I've been doing research on my legal options, but everything I read suggests that it's complicated. The adoption was legal, even if it was based on deception. The statute of limitations on contesting it has long passed. Some lawyers I've consulted say I might have a case based on fraud, but pursuing it would mean putting Lucy through a lengthy court battle. Right now, I'm living in a strange limbo. I still see Lucy at family functions, but every interaction feels forced. Lisa watches me like a hawk whenever I'm around Lucy, as if she's afraid I'll blurt out the truth. Tom looks guilty but won't stand up to his wife. Kate keeps trying to mediate, but she's clearly on her sister's side. And Lucy, innocent in all of this, keeps asking why her favorite uncle seems so sad lately. I don't know what my next move should be. The more I learn about how deliberate this deception was, the harder it becomes to just let it go. But I also know that any action I take will have serious consequences for everyone involved, especially Lucy. How do I protect my daughter's well-being while also fighting for my rights as her father? Update 2: I know many of you advised against telling Lucy the truth, but I finally did. The situation came to a head when I overheard Lisa telling Lucy I was being difficult and might not come to her upcoming 13th birthday party. I couldn't stand hearing Lisa paint me as the bad guy while continuing to lie to Lucy's face. I didn't plan it out. I was dropping off some books Lucy had left at Kate's and my house before Kate moved out temporarily. Lisa and Tom weren't home, they were at some school event, and Lucy was with her babysitter. I asked the babysitter for a few minutes alone with Lucy. She knew me as a trusted uncle, so she agreed. Lucy could tell something was wrong. She said I hadn't been myself lately and asked if she had done something to upset me. That was the moment I broke. I told her everything, about Amy being her birth mother, about me being her biological father, about how I only found out after the blood transfusion match. I showed her the DNA test results I'd been carrying around. Surprisingly, Lucy took it better than anyone expected. She was shocked but said she had always felt different from Lisa and Tom. She admitted she sometimes looked in the mirror and wondered why she didn't look like either of them, why she looked more like me. She had questions about hereditary traits, like why she was left-handed when no one else in Lisa's family was, or why she had the same food allergies as me. What broke my heart was when she asked if I had given her up. I had to explain that I never knew about her, that the choice was taken from me. She got angry then, not at me but at Lisa and Tom. She started remembering all the times they'd told her about her adoption, how they'd said her birth parents were teenagers who died in an accident. Every story they told her about her origins was a lie. Lisa and Tom found out within hours. The babysitter had called Lisa when she noticed Lucy was upset. They came home early and found us still talking. Lisa completely lost it. She started screaming about betrayal and how I had no right. Tom had to physically restrain her from trying to force me out of the house. They're threatening to cut all contact now, saying I've violated their trust. They're even talking about moving to a different state to get away from me. Kate is devastated, saying I've destroyed her family. She moved back in with her parents and is talking about divorce. Lucy has been reaching out to me secretly through social media. She made a new account that Lisa and Tom don't know about. She has so many questions about her biological background, about Amy, about what I was like at her age. She told me she feels like her whole life has been a movie where everyone knew the plot except her. The family is in chaos. Lisa and Tom are requiring Lucy to see a therapist, which isn't a bad thing, but they're using it as a way to control access to her. They've told the therapist I'm causing problems and trying to disrupt their family. They've blocked my number on Lucy's phone and told her school not to let me pick her up. But Lucy is old enough to have her own mind. She's angry at Lisa and Tom for lying to her for so long. She started acting out at home, demanding to know what else they've lied about. She refuses to call them mom and dad now, using their first names instead. I didn't want this for her, but I also couldn't keep living the lie. Tom tried to reach out privately, saying he understands why I did it but that I should have waited until Lucy was older. He admitted he wanted to tell her too but was afraid of losing everything. He asked if we could find a way to work this out that doesn't involve lawyers or custody battles. I don't trust him though. He had 12 years to do the right thing and chose not to. Kate keeps calling, alternating between begging me to help fix things and accusing me of deliberately trying to hurt her sister. She doesn't seem to understand that I didn't create this situation, Lisa and Tom did. I'm just the one who finally told the truth. I'm meeting with a family lawyer next week. I know this might get ugly, but I can't go back to pretending. Lucy knows who I am now, and she deserves to have a relationship with her biological father if she wants one. I just hope she comes out of all this okay. Update 3. It's been 6 months since this all blew up, and I'm writing this final update to let you know where things stand. Kate and I are officially separated now. She moved out completely and is staying with her parents. The divorce papers are being prepared. She said she couldn't stay married to someone who chose revenge over family peace. I tried explaining it wasn't about revenge, but she couldn't see past her loyalty to Lisa. Lucy is still living with Lisa and Tom, but things are tense. She's struggling with her relationships with them, especially Lisa. The therapist she's seeing said Lucy is dealing with trust issues, which isn't surprising. She stopped calling them mom and dad altogether. When Lisa tried to force the issue, Lucy started spending more time in her room and refusing to talk to her. After consulting with lawyers, I learned that my legal options were limited. The adoption was legal, and too much time had passed to contest it. However, Tom reached out through his lawyer and we worked out an agreement. I now get to see Lucy every other weekend. Lisa was against it, but Tom insisted it was better than going to court. Amy came back into the picture about 2 months ago. She reached out after Lucy found her on social media. This caused another explosion with Lisa and Tom. They didn't want Amy involved at all, but Lucy insisted on meeting her. Now Lucy spends one weekend a month with Amy, who moved back to the area to be closer. The extended family is still divided. Kate's parents won't speak to me. My parents are pushing me to fight for full custody, but I know that would just traumatize Lucy more. Some cousins and family friends have taken sides, while others are trying to stay neutral. Lucy is doing better academically now that everything is out in the open. Her grades had dropped when she first found out, but they're improving again. She joined the school newspaper and seems to have found a good group of friends who support her through all this. She told me she feels less confused now that she knows where she came from. Lisa still refuses to see or speak to me. She sends Tom to handle all communication about Lucy. I heard through Kate that Lisa is in therapy too, finally dealing with her infertility trauma and the choices she made. Tom apologized to me privately for his part in all this, but our relationship will never be the same. The hardest part is watching Lucy try to balance everything. She's trying to maintain relationships with Lisa and Tom while building new ones with me and Amy. She told me sometimes she feels guilty for wanting to spend time with her birth parents, like she's betraying the people who raised her. I assured her she doesn't have to choose, she can have relationships with all of us. I don't regret telling the truth, even though it cost me my marriage. Kate wants to reconcile, but I can't get past her choosing her sister's side in all this. She still thinks I should have kept quiet for the sake of family harmony. She doesn't understand that the family harmony was built on lies. This isn't the happy ending some people might have wanted, but it's real. Lucy knows who she is and where she came from. She's building relationships with her biological parents while working through her feelings about Lisa and Tom. It's messy and complicated, but at least it's honest. Sometimes that's the best we can hope for.